And unfortunately, there's more problems than just the sediments, although that's probably the biggest problem and the hardest one to deal with. You know, there was a lot of activity around the lake. So these are all historical photos of what went on around the shoreline of the lake. This was a solid industrial corridor with buildings the whole length of the lake processing this copper ore. And as part of that processing, you burn tremendous amounts of coal. You generate steam, you generate electricity that's needed to run all the machinery. Well, generating electricity and burning coal produces all sorts of air pollutants that then fall out to the ground. Of course, back then there wasn't air pollution cleaning equipment put on the stacks, so all of it came out and came back down to the ground in the lake. Anyone know things that do come out of smokestacks like that? What?
Sulfur dioxide.
Sulfur dioxide, which creates acid rain, yes. So there was a lot of acidic precipitation at that time in the early half of the century around here, yes. Anything else? Obama just instituted some restrictions on emissions from coal plants. One of those is aimed at carbon emissions, the other is aimed at mercury emissions. Mercury is a big problem because it accumulates in the fish and it causes us health problems. And unfortunately, the fish in the lake, the big walleye, the big northerns in this lake, have too much mercury to be safe for us to eat. And some of that is probably a residual effect of the mining. But then the other thing that happens is, right, the other side of this pile, we can't see it from this angle, you can barely see through the trees some red coloration that's trailers. There was a big electricity generating plant there. They just knocked it down last year and now they're pumping up the groundwater to treat it. And one of the things that electrical generation does is it has transformers, and before 1980 those transformers were filled with PCBs. Of course, back then nobody knew they were harmful. The mining here ended in 1968, so what do you think they did with those transformers? Drained the oil and got rid of the transformers. So soils around here have elevated PCBs. There are elevated PCBs in the lake. And again, the fish, the big fish in the lake, have too much PCBs to eat. So I actually don't know if Amy Keranen is here or not. She's working with the DEQ. She's in charge of finding these hot spots of PCB contamination and getting them removed. If she succeeds, it should only take about 5 years for the fish to be healthy enough to eat. So this is a problem that can be solved. This is a problem that's much harder to solve. This, you know, if we let it go naturally, it'll take 800 years. The lake is far too big to cover. So, yeah, are those going to cause us other problems? Those sediments? Are they going to cause us any problems? Can we swim in this lake?
That's what I wondered, yeah. Is it harmful? Well,
and the answer is no, it's not harmful. We can swim in this lake, we can boat in this lake, water ski, we can do anything we want in the water in this lake. That's fine and healthy.
Just stay out of the mud.
Right, exactly. Stay out of the mud. But this, you know, these were collected below about 20 feet of water. So not many of us will go down that deep. Around the shoreline, it's not, there are locations where there may still be harmful materials around the shoreline. So getting in and out of the water is the only dangerous part about this lake.